Hello everybody, Nate here from the 717, and I'm just going to bring you a quick guide on how to Barch. Barch is just barbarians and archers, as you could probably guess. Today I will be using 80 barbs and 120 archers. There are many different variations that you could use with this, especially if you're trophy pushing instead of farming. You would definitely want to use different spells. I don't really use spells while I'm farming because that's just kind of a waste of elixir. So we're just gonna load up the barracks and I'll explain more of what you should be looking for and what to do. We will mostly be attacking dead bases because usually the collectors are always on the outside and that's what's going to be full. And I don't carry wall breakers because they take a little bit longer to train than just the barbarians and archers. So here's the base we're going to be attacking. After the loot bonus that I'll get for a 1 star, I'll make 150,000 gold, which isn't a massive amount, but it's still pretty good for for the purposes of just farming. You still want to be making a lot of gold. Plus, it's almost all of it is in the collectors, which is another thing that's really good because we're not just going to leave a bunch of gold sitting in the storages. So right now I'm just placing some archers around the base to pick some of the things that are out of range off. It's free percentage for one thing, and two, you can use less troops that way if you pick out off some of the outer buildings that aren't covered by a defense. And using less troops is another thing you want to be able to do, hopefully, because then it saves you elixir, which obviously I don't need any elixir because you can see my bar right there. It's completely full. But in general, if you're wanting to save up elixir for something, you definitely don't want to use all your troops, and this is a really cheap army composition. So what you should do while you're using Barch, which is probably what you can see I'm doing now, I'm putting the barbarians down first because that'll be what absorbs the damage from the defenses. And they're basically a meat shield, like what you would use the giants for. And then the archers will come in after and do a bunch of damage for you. So up at the top, I'm trying to get that little bit of dark elixir that's in the drill and also in the storage. And we see we already got our 1 star, which is good because that means we'll be making 150k in gold, which is what we want at this moment. So I'll just end the battle. And that's a pretty decent haul. It's not great, but it's pretty good too. So we'll just head back to our base and I'm gonna level out the how many troops I have training so that I can have the appropriate amounts, and then we'll be right back to watch. Okay, so as you can see, I'm just loading up my barracks again like I did before. I just do 15 and 20 in each, 15 barbs, 20 archers, as you can probably see. That way that I have enough training so that it'll help speed things along, but I don't have too much that it'll make my numbers off of what I generally want them, because I do like to have just 80 and then 120 as opposed to, 90, 110, 100, and 100, which you could easily do too. So we're just going to search for a base, hopefully find one with some full collectors, and I'm just going to skip to the base that I'm going to raid. So as you can see, this base has an unloaded expo, so it's obviously dead, hasn't been on in a while. The collectors, as you can see, the elixir ones are completely purple, and now you have the gold ones at the bottom that are level 10 and 11 collectors, and those will be what we really want to hit because that's where all the gold's going to be. So we're just going to lay the barbs down in front, spread those across the bottom of the base so that they absorb the damage, and then we're going to do the same across the top and then just put archers down behind them. Then you can put more archers down than you put barbs because the barbs will be able to absorb damage a lot more. And see, you can see quickly within 20 seconds, we just took out all the gold that was on that base. So now so I don't take a 24 trophy drop, we're just going to keep putting some barbs down and putting archers behind them, which is the main concept of Barch. You want the barbarians to take the damage from the defenses while you want your archers to do the damage for you. And that's pretty much what helps you get. I mean, that's how I get 1 star, just picking stuff off around the base pretty easily. Which is why I like using the strategy, because then I don't have to worry about keeping my trophy count in the same spot. So, as you can see, we have 120, 80, and 120 again. I'm going to so I was gonna set up to do another farming raid, but it was getting late, and I wasn't really finding any good bases. So I'm actually gonna set up what I use for my war raids for Balloonion instead, which is 30 balloons, 25 minions, and then 2 rage and a healing spell. And being the idiot that I am, I completely forgot that I have a time limit for my recorder, and it hit the time limit during the middle of my next raid, so I'm just gonna have to show you guys the replay. It took me probably about 10 to 15 minutes to find this one, but it was a really nice haul, especially because of the Dark Elixir. As you can see, there's 1,500 Dark Elixir available. Obviously, some of that's in the storage, but a bunch of the gold and the elixir are all just in the collectors. So we're just gonna drop some archers around the stuff up top and pick off the easy things that we can before we decide to send in the rest of our troops. Because that way we could save troops, even though I'm just going to dump them all at the end of this one. So I'm just gonna, as you can see, I'm up there at the top, just putting a bunch of barbs across there to go in, and then setting archers up behind them to hit everything pretty much in sight. And see, why you want to carry more archers than barbs is, unless you're carrying wall breakers, you're not going to be able to get anything that's behind the walls. Like I'm getting the collectors right there at the bottom. You can see, the only reason I'm even able to get those is because I have the archers in my army. If I didn't have those, or didn't have as many of those, I could have ran out and I wouldn't have been able to get those, and I would have left a bunch of gold on the board. And there you can see I'm just getting the uh, I was going for that Dark Elixir drill because that was pretty full and helped get me a lot of Dark Elixir. And as you can see, even with the X-bow, it takes out archers really quick, but it takes a couple shots to get the Barbarian down, just because of the amount of health the Barbarian has. So now I'm just pretty much dumping troops, and that'll be it for this video. That's pretty much just your guide on how to barch. Hopefully you guys learned something, and this will help you out a lot with your raiding and farming. Anyways, I think that'll be it. Thanks for watching.